Let's be real, sometimes a game just catches your eye with its character designs. If you're into games that feature really attractive looking and eye-candy female characters, then you're in the right place. Today we're counting down the top 10 games with the best fan service in that department. Let's dive in. Bloody Spell. So here's the thing, Bloody Spell is an action RPG set in a wuxia-inspired world, meaning it's all about martial arts magic and ancient China vibes. You play as Yi Jin, a dude who's out to rescue his kidnapped sister. But here's the kicker, you can equip a female skin for Yi Jin mid-game. It's not a gender swap, it's like putting on a costume that turns your character into a totally different person with a new look and voice line. And it's not just a one-time thing. There are tons of DLC skins you can unlock or buy, like wedding dresses, catgirl outfits, and even zombie-themed gear. Some of these outfits are pretty revealing, and yeah, they're designed to catch your eye. But is it just eye candy? The combat is legit. You've got smooth, fast-paced action with a bunch of weapons and combos to play around with. It's like Devil May Cry meets Ninja Gaiden, but with a Chinese fantasy twist. Plus, there are different modes like Bloody Arena and Priestess Exam that keep things spicy and give you more chances to show off those outfits. So should you play it? If you're into games that mix slick combat with a bit of fan service, Bloody Spell is worth checking out. Just know it's got that edgy, over-the-top style that's not for everyone, but if you're down for some stylish action and don't mind a little eye candy, it's a fun ride. The Killing Antidote. You step into the shoes of Jody, a fearless freelance journalist, navigating a post-apocalyptic world overrun by a mutating germ. She's on a mission to uncover the truth and find the legendary antidote. The gameplay mixes shooting, melee combat, stealth, and puzzle solving, keeping things fresh and engaging. Plus, the game boasts detailed visuals and smooth animations that make the action pop. Now let's get to the juicy part, the fan service. The Killing Antidote doesn't shy away from showcasing its stylish female protagonist. Jody isn't just a badass, she's also customizable. You can tweak her wardrobe, hairstyles, and makeup, giving her a look that suits your style. Beyond the visuals, the game delivers solid mechanics. Combat is satisfying, with a range of melee weapons, firearms, and bows at your disposal. Stealth and assassination elements add depth to the gameplay. Lollipop Chainsaw.
Funny stuff. Especially not if you really like the person.
This one's basically peak fan service. You got Juliet, a super hot cheerleader with a chainsaw, slicing up zombies while looking like she just walked out of an anime fan's dream. The game's literally built around her being eye candy. Short skirts, suggestive poses, and even unlockable outfits that get wilder as you go. The camera knows what it's doing too, always zooming in on the important parts. It's goofy, over the top, and 100% doesn't take itself seriously. Total guilty pleasure kind of game, and yeah, Juliet's a whole damn icon. Now, in terms of gameplay, it's a hack-and-slash action game. You chain combos, do flashy finishers, and juggle enemies in the air. There's light combat variety, you've got your cheerleader acrobatics for kicks and flips, and then brutal chainsaw moves for heavy attacks. Plus, there's this meter that builds up for special sparkle hunting kills, where you can take out a bunch of enemies in slow-mo glittery explosions. It's dumb, colorful, and satisfying, like Devil May Cry if it went to Hot Topic and drank too much Monster Energy. You also collect gold medals from enemies and mini-games, which you use to unlock new combos and buy items, health upgrades, and yes, outfits. This is where that fan service kicks into overdrive. But the game isn't just button mashing. There are moments where it throws in quick time events, little arcade-style mini-games, and even sections where you ride a freaking chainsaw-powered motorcycle. So it stays fresh and chaotic all the way through. Story-wise, it's totally bonkers in the best way. Juliet's got this super peppy attitude, always trying to stay positive even when stuff gets gruesome. Her boyfriend Nick is literally just a head she carries around, and their banter is hilarious. The whole tone is campy and over the top on purpose. It knows it's ridiculous and leans into it hard. The boss fights are wild too. Each one is themed after a different genre of music, punk, metal, funk, etc. And they're full of personality. Like one boss screams swear words in giant neon letters, another turns into a DJ that tries to kill you with dubstep. It's nuts. So yeah, it's got the fan service, Juliet's hot, outfits are spicy, and the camera definitely knows what it's doing, but it's also just a genuinely entertaining and unique game. Not deep, not super refined, but if you're into loud, stylish, hilarious chaos with a lot of flair, this one delivers. Definitely one of those games where you come for the eye candy, but you stay for the insane, over-the-top fun. Total cult classic. Bayonetta Series.
I've been driving around this city since the crack of dawn.
Bayonetta is one of those action games that just grabs you and doesn't let go. You play as this witch named Bayonetta who's super confident and knows how to fight. She uses a mix of guns on her hands and feet, plus magic and really smooth combos to take down enemies. The best part is the combat. It's fast, it feels good, and it rewards you for timing your dodges right. When you dodge perfectly, time slows down, and you can hit enemies a bunch without them hitting back. It makes the fights feel really satisfying, like you're in control the whole time. The game throws a lot of enemies at you, from small ones to huge bosses, and each fight feels different. The bosses especially are big and crazy, like giant monsters or weird angelic beings, and beating them usually feels like a big deal because they take some skill. Bayonetta can do all kinds of moves, from punches and kicks to shooting enemies while jumping in the air, and you can mix everything together in long combos that look super cool. The whole world feels mysterious but stylish, with a mix of modern city streets and magical places. As the series goes on, the story adds more crazy stuff like time travel, different worlds, and new characters with their own stories. It's not the kind of game where you have to pay super close attention to the story though. The main thing is just the action and the style. Speaking of style, Bayonetta herself is a big part of the game's charm. She's tall, confident, and moves like a dancer. The game shows off her design, but in a way that feels natural for her character. She's not just there to look good, she's a powerful fighter who owns every fight she's in. The costumes are cool too, and you can unlock a bunch of different outfits in the game, which is a nice bonus if you like customizing her look. The series has a great balance of fast gameplay, cool visuals, and a character with a lot of personality. If you like games where you feel powerful and can pull off stylish moves, Bayonetta is perfect. The controls might take a little time to get used to, but once you do, the game becomes really fun and rewarding. Catherine, full body. You play as Vincent, a guy who's kind of stuck in a confusing love triangle. On one side, there's his longtime girlfriend Catherine, who's all about stability and commitment. On the other, there's this mysterious and playful woman named Catherine who shows up and shakes things up. The story dives deep into Vincent's struggles with relationships, commitment, kind of like a really intense, emotional soap opera, but with a twist. Now, the fan service part is subtle, but especially with Catherine, she's definitely designed to catch your eye, and the game teases with some pretty stylish character designs and moments, but it's never over the top or gross. The art style is anime-inspired and looks really sharp, and the characters have a cool, mature vibe. Plus, the full-body version adds a new character named Rin, which adds even more drama and choices to the mix. Gameplay-wise, it's mostly about climbing these crazy tower puzzles. Every night, Vincent gets trapped in nightmares where he has to climb blocks, move them around, and avoid traps or monsters. The puzzles get pretty tricky, but they're fun and satisfying once you figure out how to move pieces to clear a path. There's also a time pressure because the tower is collapsing, so you have to think fast. The story parts are really well done. The game blends dialogue, character drama, and nightmare sequences seamlessly, plus your choices affect how the story unfolds, which means multiple endings. So it's got replay value if you want to see how things could have gone differently. Overall, Catherine Full Body is great if you want a mix of smart puzzles and a deep, mature story about love, fear, and growing up. It's unique and emotional with some cool moments and stylish characters that keep things interesting without going too far. Nier Automata. So Nier Automata is this crazy mix of robot fights, deep feelings, and some wild story twists. You play as these android girls, 2B is the main one, And yeah, she's kind of got that sleek badass vibe going on. But don't get it twisted, it's not just a pretty face game. The story's actually kind of heavy. Like, these robots are stuck fighting a war nobody really understands, and the game makes you think about what it even means to be alive or have feeling. Weird stuff for a game about smashing machines, right? The fights are super smooth and fun. You're slashing enemies, dodging attacks, and sometimes the camera switches up and it feels like you're playing a shooting game or even a flying game. It keeps you on your toes. The combos look cool, but aren't too hard to pull off, so it's fun for casual players, but has some depth if you want to get fancy. One thing that's wild about this game is the story. You don't get the full picture the first time you play. You gotta replay it with different characters to unlock the whole mystery, and just when you think you know what's going on, the game throws you some curveballs. It's kind of like a puzzle, but with robots and emotions. The world looks kind of sad but pretty, with broken cities and nature growing back. Plus the music is freaking amazing, it'll stick in your head for days. And now fan service. Yeah, the 2B's outfit and style are pretty eye-catching, but it never feels forced. It's just part of the vibe. The game is mostly about the story and action, but you get that little bonus for sticking around. If you want a game that's fun to play and makes you think a bit, Nier's a good pick. Just be ready to play it a few times to get the full story, like a movie with sequels but better. Scarlet Nexus. You get to pick between two characters, Yito or Kasane. Both are new members of this special group called the Other Suppression Force. Basically, they fight monsters called Others. And these Others aren't your normal monsters. They look kind of scary and want to eat people's brains. Yeah, nasty stuff. The fighting in the game is really fun and easy to get into. You don't just slash with swords, you also use your psychic powers to grab things around you, like cars, rocks, or even parts of buildings, and throw them at enemies. It feels pretty awesome when you pick up a big object and smash it into a monster. On top of that, you can run fast, jump, and do combos with your sword. You also have teammates who fight with you and have their own special psychic powers, so you gotta figure out the best way to work with them. It makes battles more interesting and not just button mashing all the time. The story starts out kind of simple, you're just fighting monsters and trying to protect people, but as you play more, you find out there are secrets in the organization you work for. There's a lot of drama, like who you can trust, hidden plans, and mystery about what the others really are. The game tells the story through cutscenes and talks with your teammates, so you get to know them and their problems too. It's not just about fighting all the time, there's some good story stuff mixed in. The characters are drawn in this bright anime style, and yeah, some of the characters look pretty cool and stylish. The game doesn't go too crazy with fan service, but if you like seeing colorful, neat designs and sometimes characters looking sharp, you'll like that part. The whole world is colorful too, it's not dark or scary like some other games, more like a bright comic book. If you want a game that's easy to pick up with cool psychic powers, fun battles, and a story that keeps you interested, Scarlet Nexus is a solid choice. It's got that anime vibe, but also feels fresh and exciting. Plus, the soundtrack and visuals make it feel pretty energetic the whole time. Tales of Berseria. So Tales of Berseria is this cool RPG where you play as Velvet, a girl who's kind of pissed off at the world. Like, she's not your typical let's save the day hero, she's more like, I'm gonna wreck anyone who mess with me. The story kicks off because something really bad happened to her, and now she's on this wild revenge trip. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, it's got a bit of a dark and gritty vibe, which is pretty cool because it makes the story feel real and not all cheesy. You don't just wander around town talking to people, though there's some of that, but mostly you're fighting. And the combat? Dude, it's super fast and action-packed. You get to control Velvet and a bunch of other characters who all have different fighting styles. It's like a fighting game mixed with an RPG. You can chain combos, use special moves called Artes, and switch characters mid-fight to keep things spicy. It never gets boring because you're always trying to pull off cool moves and dodge attacks. The characters are a big part of why the game is fun. Velvet's got that don't mess with me energy, but her crew is a pretty wild bunch. They're all messed up in their own ways, but that makes them feel like real people, not just game NPCs. Plus, the story dives into some heavy stuff like dealing with loss, anger, and what it really means to be human. It's deep, but not in a way that makes your brain hurt. More like those serious moments in movies that stick with you. The art style is bright and colorful, classic anime look. If you like games with fast fights, a story that hits you in the feels, and characters that aren't perfect but still awesome, you'll probably dig Tales of Berseria. It's got that good mix of action and emotion, and it keeps you hooked with twists and turns along the way. Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is this third-person action game where you step into the shoes of Eve, a total badass warrior. The Earth has been taken over by these alien robot monsters called Natibus, and it's kind of a mess. Ruined cities, dark skies, all that post-apocalyptic stuff. Your job? Kick alien butt, figure out what went wrong, and maybe save what's left of humanity. Pretty classic save-the-world story, but the way it's told feels fresh, with cool sci-fi twists and some mystery about Eve's past and her connection to the aliens. The gameplay is where the real fun's at. The combat is super fast and smooth. You can't just button mash, you gotta actually think about when to attack, dodge, or block. It's kind of like a mix of hack and slash and a little bit of Souls-like timing stuff, but not as brutal. When you nail a parry or pull off a slick combo, it feels so good. Eve's sword swings look cool and fluid, and she's got these fancy special moves and gadgets that keep the fights from getting stale. The enemies aren't just boring cannon fodder either. Some are quick, some are big and tanky, and boss fights make you sweat, because you gotta learn their moves and time your counters perfectly. Visually, the game is gorgeous. The world is a mix of shiny, futuristic tech and ruined landscapes, kind of like Earth got hit by some big disaster, but people still left some cool tech behind. The lighting and effects make everything pop, especially during combat when you're pulling off flashy moves. Eve's character model is super detailed, and she moves with this confidence that just feels right. Now about the fan service, yep, Eve's outfit definitely stands out. She wears this tight, sleek suit that shows off her curves, and yeah, it's made to grab attention, but it never feels cheap. Not like the game stops to stare at her or makes weird scenes just for eye candy. It's more like, here's a badass chick who also looks good. So fan service is there, but it's subtle, not the whole point of the game. The story adds some cool depth too. You're not just fighting aliens for the fun of it. There's a mystery about why the Earth got invaded, what happened to humanity, and why Eve is so special. The game throws in some emotional moments, like when you find out about people who survived or lost everything. It keeps you hooked and wanting to see what happens next. Plus, the controls are tight and responsive. It feels great to play whether you're smashing enemies or exploring the world. The game isn't super long, but it's packed with action and story beats, so it doesn't drag. If you're into games with fast-paced combat, sci-fi worlds, and a strong female lead who's both a warrior and stylish, Stellar Blade is definitely worth checking out. It's got that mix of cool gameplay, a decent story, and just enough fan service to keep things interesting without going overboard. Dragon's Crown. Dragon's Crown is basically a modern love letter to old school beat-em-up games, but with a fantasy twist. You pick one of 6 characters, like a big axe-wielding dwarf, a slick elf with a bow, or a super powerful sorceress, and go off smashing monsters, looting treasure, and exploring dungeons. The game's got this kind of classic Dungeons & Dragons vibe, but way more stylish and animated. It's all 2D hand-drawn art, and it looks amazing. Like, straight up looks like a moving painting. It's one of those games where you pause just to admire the backgrounds sometimes. Gameplay's tight too. You just run through these side-screen levels, beating the crap out of skeletons, goblins, dragons, and whatever else gets in your way. It's not just button mashing either. You gotta use combos, magic, dodging, all that stuff. And when you start playing co-op with friends, that's when it really gets wild. Total chaos in the best way. Now, yeah, fan service, oh yeah, it's definitely there. The character designs, especially the Sorceress and the Amazon, are a lot. The Sorceress has this massive presence, and the Amazon's built like a tank, but wearing barely anything. It's exaggerated on purpose, part of the whole over-the-top fantasy art style. Some people dig it, some roll their eyes. Depends on your vibe. But it's not like the game's just about that. It's got solid gameplay and a lot of heart underneath the flashy designs. The story's not super deep or anything, but it does the job. It's all about adventuring through these magical lands, finding ancient relics, and unlocking the secrets of the Dragon's Crown. Simple, fun, and fits the style perfect. If you like old school arcade style brawlers, fantasy worlds, and a bit of wild art design thrown in, Dragon's Crown is a good time. It's one of those games that doesn't take itself too seriously but still delivers a good fun ride. Maiden Cops. Maiden Cops is just straight up wild. It's this side-scrolling beat-up that feels like someone took an old-school arcade game, cranked up the volume, added a bunch of flashy moves, and just said, let's go nuts. You play as a trio of badass lady cops trying to clean up a city that's totally out of control. Like, this gang called the Liberators is causing all kinds of chaos, and it's up to you and your squad to punch, kick, and combo your way through the madness. Each of the 3 main characters has their own style. Like, one's this super energetic rookie, another's a calm, cool veteran, and then there's this big, strong softie who's basically the muscle of the team. Also, they all play differently too, which keeps things fun, depending on who you pick. Now, yeah, the fan service is real in this one. The designs are totally exaggerated, the kind of over-the-top stuff where, you know, they're not even pretending to be subtle. The outfits, the poses, the animations, it's definitely leaning into that whole sexy anime cop vibe. But it's done in this loud, ridiculous way that honestly feels like it's just having fun with itself. Like, the game knows what it is and doesn't try to beat anything else. What really makes it work, though, is that the gameplay is actually solid. It's fast, smooth, and super satisfying when you're landing big combos and clearing out a bunch of enemies, and if you bring a friend along for local co-op, it gets even better. Pure chaos, but in a good way.